Welcome back to the How to Hardscape Pricing and Landscaping Jobs course, where we're getting into profit and calculating profit on a job. There's a few different ways that you can go about calculating profit for each of your jobs and to quote that in or include that into your estimate. We're going to get into one way here with a percentage you will profit. It's a projection when you are estimating. So it's going to be treated similar to what a markup would be, or calculating your profit margin. Now, it's important to know that it's not the same as a markup. And in terms of a markup, you're going to multiply by a percentage to give you a certain amount that you're going to charge out. Whereas with calculating a profit margin, we're going to divide by 100% minus the percent of profit margin that you want on that. So when it comes to doing that, you need to decide what your profit margin you want to be. What is the profit margin that you want to be at for that specific job? And remember that with your job, you may be factoring in overhead expenses that you are saving up for. So replacing that truck, more money's coming in, but that needs to be set aside for overhead expenses. At the end of the day, that money will be sitting in your bank account and it'll be looking like profit, but it's really just set aside for future investment into your company, replacing that truck, replacing that trailer, whatever it might be. Same with things like labor burden. You want to be saving that aside just in case something may come up with your labor. Profit, we're going to set aside as profit into our business, something above and beyond what we quoted that we've earned, that we can set aside into a certain bank account so that we can say that we're sitting on this amount of money in our bank account based on the profit that we've earned, and maybe we can invest that in the future. So what we like to do is calculate a profit margin on a specific job, where we want to be at. And we do this at the beginning of every year with our budget. We think about a profit margin percent based on last year's numbers, and maybe we want to make a little bit more. So at the end of the year, last year, we'll take a look at our numbers and we'll see what our profit margin was at the end of the day. And then we'll take it and look at this year and decide how are we going to change that, and what is the profit margin that we're going to put on every job this year moving forward, so that we know we're growing as a business year after year with our profit margin. We're going to take 100%. We're going to minus it by our profit margin percentage. In this case, it was 25%. And that's going to give us a certain percentage of 75% or 0.75 in decimal form. And we're going to divide our total quoted amount that includes overhead expenses, labor costs, material costs, add those up and divide it by this number. And that's going to give us our total amount, including that profit margin. And that's all we're going to talk about today on profit margin. So if you have any questions in regards to this, be sure to reach out to us. We are at How to Hardscape, anywhere you can find us, or contact at howtohardscape.com if you want to email out to us. And be sure to check out our budget and estimate spreadsheet. It's got this already formulated into the spreadsheet for you, so you can just simply calculate a certain percentage profit that you want, plug it in, and it's going to give you that number, no problem, without even having to do the calculation yourself.